You are listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Bungalow Sports Show. Jesus, Mother of God. It's been a while. Oh man, it's been a holiday season. It has been. I apologize for those of you who've been just waiting with bated breath for the next episode of the Bungalow Sports Show. But you know, it's just the way it is. All right. You know, things get busy. We already had planned. You know what? I'm not going to start this year off with excuses. Yeah. All right. We're back.
Take some ownership, man.
We're freaking back. We didn't do some shows for a while.
What's that Jocko book? Extreme ownership.
I'm taking extreme ownership. I didn't fucking feel like podcasting for a little bit. And, you know, shit happens. Joey's back.
I'm back.
He should have never been gone.
I know.
You know? I changed things up because I'm like, well, football, we got to get the show has to be after the game. Fuck that. Podcasting is about consistency. And the shows are better when Joey's here. And then I decide I need to do them on Mondays. And then you know what? No more changes. This is the show. This is how we're going to do it. Football season's almost over.
Almost over.
We'll just do predictions rather than wrap-ups.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time
Commanders for the ship.
Yeah. By the time you watch this show for the next few weeks, you'll already know how wrong we are with our predictions. Yeah. But anyways, we're back, people. It's a new year. It's 2024. We're recording this on the newest holiday, American holiday, January 6th.
Shit.
The newest.
I didn't even realize it. I think I've talked about January 6th more than any other time in my life.
We're storming the Peak One Capitol today with a brand new episode.
Yeah. We're flooding your ears.
You know, I want to give a huge shout out to Ashton, Tony, everybody else on the Peak One Network holding it down. They've grown the subscribership since we've been gone.
Wow.
You know, we're not all we're cracked up to be over here. Okay. Sometimes it's good to step away and see how much you don't matter.
We're all just numbers.
You know,
our employee numbers are 45 and 23.
But we're back. You know, Alexis and I had already planned to take a break for the fight show because there hasn't from the last UFC until the next one. There was a break anyway, so we were already going to do that. The Monday recordings went to shit because right before the holidays, my work schedule tends to get insane because people are trying to get their house projects and remodel shit, and contractors trying to get shit done before the holidays, and you know, just gets nuts for me. So my Mondays went to shit, so I couldn't record this show, couldn't record the hockey show. You know, I'm since my birthday in August, and I've been trying to be healthier and all this stuff. I no longer take antidepressants. So for the first time in over a decade, I think I'm feeling a little bit of seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Because I don't have my pills to keep me from feeling any of that. So
it's been pretty rainy here in California, not much sun.
It's just gloomy. Yeah. You know, work's been a pain in the ass a little bit. So it's just, you know, people get it. It gets a little, and then my son's been off school. He gets a full 3 weeks off. My niece was here for the entire 3 weeks. I basically had 2 kids, and people out there are like, well, or have 2 kids. I'm like, yeah, but when you're used to having one,
2 is too much.
And my kid isn't even like having a kid.
Right.
It's like having like just like an old cat. Really?
Yeah.
Like he's the easiest kid ever. Like he's very low maintenance.
Right.
So, and my niece is pretty low maintenance too. But then I've got 2 kids that like I'm just like I feel like a dick. Just be like, oh, you guys fucking hang in here. I'm gonna go do a podcast for free. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, whatever. Not that it takes all the time in the world, but you know, just It
No, it takes a lot. There's a lot that goes into this, guys. All right, we don't have producers over here, right? It's all us.
But we're back.
Yeah.
It's 2024. It's a new day. It's
Give
a
us
dawn
another
of a
chance.
new day.
Give us another chance.
And we have some exciting. This is an exciting episode. But before we get into the excitement, this episode is still brought to you by Betalytics.com. Go to Betalytics.com and get all their information and make smarter bets and use promo code PEAK1 for 25% off.
Don't bet with your gut.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't bet with your gut. Use Betalytics. And sign up promo code PEAK1, get 25% off, and make smarter bets today.
Betalytics. It's the algorithm to use.
We still have that PEAK1 merch store at bonfire.com /store /PEAK1 Sports Network. Go there, get some merch if you want, or don't, whatever. I put it out there. It's there if you want it.
Follow the goat path. Our goat path shirts.
Yeah, we'll have some new shirts coming. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I just won't promote anymore.
Tell your wife not to talk to you during the breaks, dude. Is that one still up there? No talking during the breaks.
That's funny. Also, Shank It Golf. Go Shank It Golf. Joey,
Love me some Shank It Golf, dude.
You ordered some Shank
I ordered a whole slew of stuff, dude. I forgot to bring it today, man. I got so many compliments on that hat. It's their basic black hat, and it's got the skull logo, skull with golf clubs crossing. It's legit, guys.
Golf,
Shank It Golf.
They do. They have legit ass stuff. I just got my my golf club attachment for the Oculus controller.
Nice.
So I've been hitting the virtual links.
There you go, dude.
In my Shank It Golf attire, looking good in my living room.
Dude.
Shank It Golf promo code PEAK1, get 50% off. They got some cool shit, and you'll look cooler if you're out on the actual links with it.
I bought a golf glove.
With the middle finger.
Yeah, the middle finger. Yeah, dude. It's the middle finger's got a nice little saying. So go check it out.
They got
guys.
some cool shit over there. So go check it out. But without further ado, this not only the first episode of the year, not only the first episode after a long break, but 2024 on the Bungalow Sports Show.
Mm-hmm.
We are now a podcast of champions.
Do you hear it?
We are a podcast of champions. We've talked about it. We talk fantasy football, big fantasy football guys over here. I've talked about it. We obviously had our PEAK1 Sports Network inaugural season of the PEAK1 Champions League Fantasy Football League. I have been in a fantasy football league for 13 years straight. And it's a 12-man league, and
That's dedication.
Out of 12 men, I think we have like 8 or 9 OGs still. Well, I think 8. The 9th one died. Kyle's grandpa died.
R.I.P.
Which brings me to this, which is your boy brought home.
Wow.
The Franchise Fantasy League Championship, the Bratwurst Memorial Trophy. Like I said, 13 years of excellence in the franchise. Kyle, the commissioner, his grandpa was his team was always the Bratwurst Bullies. He passed away, so I made this trophy.
That's beautiful.
And called it the Bratwurst Memorial Trophy.
Wow.
We've got 12 years of excellence. Well, the first year isn't on there because it was only an 8-team league, and
the Kung Fu Gators won a lot.
Jimmy Sisko is the Patriots of our league. He has won it 4 times.
Wow. The
first 2 seasons, Bob on me, Bobby won it, and yours truly, Cole Rambo, Team Butt Punch, is the 3rd multiple-time winner.
Wow.
I haven't etched my name.
No, it's
this year.
I'm reading everybody else's name on it too.
I just picked it up today.
That's beautiful, man.
But there it is in the camera. Beautiful. I built this trophy myself.
You did?
I did.
Fantastic.
So this little guy was like our original trophy.
Yeah.
It was just this little statue. And it was starting to, he had it on like this block of something. It was just falling apart. And then after Bratwurst died,
you put your construction skills.
We need to have a legit trophy. So I am the champion. I took home $550.
Wow.
And it's not about the money.
No, it's not. You do it for the people.
It's about this.
Oh, it's about
I haven't had this trophy since I built it.
All right.
The last time I won it, it didn't exist, and now it does. But yeah, so we're champions. But more importantly, because this is the PEAK1 Sports Network, I must present
No.
Joey, the Fear Boners,
The Fear Boners.
have won the inaugural championship of the Peak One Sports Champions League. And as we said at the beginning of the season, this isn't for money. This is for the king of the network.
No, dude.
Joey,
No.
I would like to present you
Oh,
with the Peak One Sports
no way.
Network King Crown.
Wait, this. Hang on. Oh.
Congratulations, my friend.
Oh my God. Should I go yarmulke style?
I mean, I have a small head, so, but
This is. Oh my God.
the king of the network, Joey Foster.
I'd like to address my constituents. I have no words. No, this is so cool, man. Wow. We didn't think we'd get here.
Congratulations, we did not.
We didn't think we'd get here. There's a few weeks in there where it was looking a little gloom.
Well, you know, that's what fantasy football's all about.
Yeah, dude.
And on top of that, what makes us even more champions is Joey and I played each other in the championship. So no matter what, we were bringing home the crown.
It was great, dude. Yeah.
No matter what, we were bringing home that crown.
Because this is bigger than just me and you, right?
It's bigger.
It's bigger. It's Bungalow Sports.
It's Bungalow Sports. It's Peak One.
Yeah.
It's Joey being a I wouldn't say the odds-on favorite to win.
Dog, you know?
Joey, I mean, by all accounts, pretty much a fantasy football rookie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you worked it.
Yeah.
You worked the waiver wire.
Thank you.
You did your research. You did your homework. You know. And
I went from 0 leagues to 3 in one season.
And I'm happy for you.
I hit gold in 2 of my leagues. You know.
I'm happy for you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
I
dude.
think everybody was probably surprised. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ashton and Tony, if you guys want to talk trash, you got to be top 5 in order to talk trash, my guys.
And you're number 1. You were officially king of the network.
I love it. Thanks, man.
Until the 2024 football season begins. So
we'll see how that goes.
Enjoy that crown for another year, my friend.
I will, dude.
And,
thank you.
Maybe next year we'll be having to mail it off to Texas. But not this year, buddy.
Not before the plane goes down.
It's
you know
staying
what I mean?
right here. Staying right here in the bungalow.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, why don't you put it on that statue back there so
dude.
they can see it in the camera? You know, I mean, it's just like, there, look at that. Look at that. Bam, bam. Look at that.
Oh.
And
How about that?
king of the network. King of the goddamn network.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
What is your first? You got to think of what your first decree. Next episode.
First royal decree.
Next episode, you have to come in with like a scroll.
Here.
So fantasy football is over. Today marked the beginning of Week 18 of the NFL season.
Yep.
Just like you. Were down in the dumps and then came back, made it to the championship. In my other league, the same thing. I went on like a four game losing streak during the season. Went all the way down to like 10th place at one point.
Wow.
And then clawed my way back up. And the beautiful thing,
it's a game of inches, man.
My buddy Kyle, commissioner of that other league, he's never won it.
Really?
He's been commissioner for 13 years.
That's got to be tough.
Never won it.
Right? That's got to be tough.
It's tough. At one point, because we used to do live drafts, before COVID, we'd get together and do live drafts.
Yeah.
And his dad, not even in the league, but he would be our basically our draft host because he fancied himself kind of a Renaissance man. And he'd up there and he'd have his jokes and and so it was a big ordeal. And Kyle's never won it. And this year he was basically in first place.
Wow.
The entire season.
And then
last week of the season, I took over. I took away his first place seat.
Oh no!
And then he was out in the first round.
Oh my gosh!
Or in the second round because he had to buy. He got second place, so we both had buys, and he was out. And shit started to get a little heated in the chat today because I went and picked up the trophy today from Kittlecorn, the guy who won it last year.
Yeah.
And I he didn't answer the text thread for a while.
Oh, so you're Where's my trophy,
I looked
dude?
Back when I asked him like, hey, hit me up so we can meet up and get the trophy. It had auto-corrected Little Corn.
So he didn't know.
He just probably thought I was talking shit.
I was thinking he just didn't recognize his name. He says, "Who the fuck's Little Corn?"
Little Corn.
Put some respect on that, like Little Corn, dude.
Like a lame Native American dude. Little Corn.
Yeah, Little Corn. He goes on a wild journey.
But I picked it up and I sent a picture to the chat of it in its seatbelt in my passenger seat, just so everybody knew it was going home.
You gotta make sure it goes home safe.
And Kyle's like, congratulations, buddy. He was like, next year we should get together, start doing the live drafts again, because like after COVID, obviously everywhere was closed. We used to go to like Mountain Mike's and get like the party room and like do it in there. And then since then we've just been doing the online drafts. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'm down. I love those things. And then he's like, oh, we should go somewhere. And I'm like, go somewhere. And he's like, we should go to Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, says the single guy with no kids.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not single if I'm married to the game. And then that just was the wrong thing to say from a guy who's never won it. Because everybody else started chiming in and was like... And I was like, the game? What game? And I was like, that sounds like a one-sided relationship.
The game is running around town.
Yeah, it was like, and then Bob was like, yeah, I think your wife likes me a little bit more than she likes you.
Yeah, dude.
And then Bob at one point had quit the league because he was so sour that nobody accepts his trades.
That is something that was new to me, because coming from somewhere that I watch the league, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, even though that they don't like each other, they would still, or they like each other, but like they were so competitive that they would trade with each other. Nobody in my other leagues traded with each other.
I'm not a trader.
No, I veto trades too, actually, by the way. Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Every trade, I'm like, fuck that.
So Bobby had quit for about 3 years.
Wow.
Right, he went and walked away.
Yeah,
because he was just because you win 2 years in a row and then you don't even get to the playoffs for a few years. It's got to be frustrating, and that's what was happening to him. And I think that played into it more. But then he's just like, well, nobody wants to. And my whole thing is like, nobody has to trade.
No, he has to do anything. Yeah,
draft better.
Yeah,
don't get injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But and then so when he said, I think your wife likes me a lot more. When Kyle said he was married to the game, Kyle was like, well, at least I didn't break up with the game for 3 years and then come crawling back. And then I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, I saw Bobby offered me a trade in November. I declined. So shit got a little heated in the chat post-season. But it's over now. We have a year to think about what we've done. But yeah, I didn't make any trades. I usually, like, during the year, it's kind of hard not to make any trades sometimes, you know? I'm usually not a big trade offer unless I have some kind of an emergency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for some reason, and I think it all, if you're not a fantasy player out there, this is all fucking nonsense to you. But if you're a fan of the NFL and you pay attention to most teams and kind of the ins and outs of the players and injuries and things like that, the type of season in the NFL really dictates what goes on in fantasy, right? Because it's all about individual person points, right? And like the quarterback play has been really down quality wise this season. So like 5 years ago, quarterbacks were putting up 30 points a game. You know what I mean? This season, it's like a lot of quarterbacks was like, if I got 17 to 20, I was happy.
Yeah, for sure.
In most cases, And then there was, a lot of significant injuries, but then it's like there's just the way offenses were playing because the quarterback play was down. There was a lot of backups that were getting more reps, and the running back by committee was a big thing we talked about at the beginning of this season. It's like you used to have a running back who'd get 99% of the carries, and the backup would only come in when that guy needed a breather. This year, most teams have at least 2, if not 3 backs that are spreading out the carries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just a weird season. You know?
It was.
And I think it played into my strategy, which is where I'm not a big trade guy, is I draft what I draft, and then I love to play the waiver wire. And this year, as long as you paid attention to most of the teams and who was getting how many carries and who was getting targets wide receiver wise, like I was picking up second and third string running backs and playing them over first stringers from other teams because like Justice Hill, for example, in the Ravens is their third string running back. But he got me to the championship because obviously their first string guy got injured like 2 weeks before, but then I had a bunch of injuries. I had to play Lamar Jackson, Justice Hill, and Rashad Bateman, all Ravens, in that 49ers Ravens game 2 weeks ago. Just to get to the championship. And that's scary, even though the Ravens are good.
Right.
When you have three guys, three main positions all on one team, that's scary because it's like not all those guys can get points.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
It was a little touch and go, and it was interesting. And anyways.
No, it's funny because like I'd never played, and I went from being a Cash fan to now I'm watching football on Sundays, and kind of talking to people. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
You start to kind of look at it a lot more, and the guys that I was starting, and I was relying a lot on the research assistant. In the beginning, I was like, oh, let me see. Well, what is he saying? And they're telling you to play the starters, and like you said, those backups are on my bench scoring points, and so it's like, damn, okay, well, maybe I put my faith in this guy. Then he comes out the next week and he's only scoring 3 points, right? So you're kind of like, damn, you really got to watch.
Not only to like who's playing in front of these guys, like on the roster sheet, but then like what teams they're playing.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you got to think about that team's defense.
Right.
It's like, oh, that team's got a great defense, but then when you look into it, it's like, well, they really only have a good run defense. Their cornerbacks kind of suck, so the wide receivers are probably going to get of this other team are probably going to get a lot more targets.
Definitely.
So then a second string guy against a team who has bad cornerbacks is going to get more catches.
For sure, absolutely. They start getting real deep into it, dude.
Some people hate fantasy football. Some people who love football
the game,
hate fantasy football.
Ruin the game.
I'm sure some of them are watching or listening right now, and I don't care because I'm a champion. Joey's a champion. This is a podcast of motherfucking champions.
You want to complain? Write in. You know what I mean? And maybe.
But, hey, fair play to all. Congratulations to everybody out there. Everybody who tried their hardest. But it sometimes
just wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. All right, let's not talk about football for a minute. We'll get into that later. Next week, Bungalow Hockey Show will be coming back with Daniel. But until then, let's talk a little NHL news. We haven't been here for a while. A lot has happened in the NHL, and right now, I don't know if anybody would have guessed it, but as of right now, when we're recording this, the Winnipeg Jets are the best team in the NHL. That is very surprising.
Yeah, it is.
With teams like, obviously, that like the Las Vegas Knights,
Colorado,
the
Dallas.
New York Rangers, Dallas, a lot of teams that, obviously were great last season.
Carolina.
They started out great this season, still doing well, but the Jets have been on a heater. I think they're on like a 9-game winning streak right now. Obviously, they have Connor Hellebuck. Their goaltender is arguably the best goaltender in the league, and they locked him up to a long-term contract. So he's showing out, and the team's.
They've always been a really good team, though, high scoring and stuff. A few years ago, and then I think right around after COVID, once they started trading away some of their core players, Patrick Laine's not there anymore and stuff. So, they kind of fell off.
Yeah,
so it is a surprising thing to see them back up on top now. It is
that time in the season, though, where teams are starting to round into form as far as what they're going to look like come playoff time, and the Jets are number one right now. So hear ye to Winnipeg. And anytime a Canadian team is on top,
you hate it.
I don't hate it.
I hate it.
I it's so pathetic that the country that created the sport can never win a championship.
I love it because that's all they got, dude.
So, but I would love it if the Oilers, the Maple Leafs, the Canadian, all these highly regarded Canadian franchises.
Yeah.
Fucking Winnipeg was the one to finally bring the modern championship to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I would still hate it.
If
but
a Canadian team was going to win it,
it would be the win.
I would like it to be the Jets. Scorned for so many years with having their team taken away from them, getting it back, and then. Anyway, so congratulations.
They are basically the Atlanta Thrashers, right? So it's like, let's just keep them.
They should wear Thrashers like
throwbacks. Right, dude, that'd be so sick. I don't know why they don't do that.
Let's see. In other news, Connor Bedard has gotten Bedarded all season, dude.
What a sweetie pie, right?
He is the youngest NHL All-Star in the history of the National Hockey League, and he deserves it.
He lived up to all the hype that was going on about him,
and more.
Yeah,
because it's not like he's on a team that's a contender where he's got a lot of guys that are also
Yeah.
You know.
Where you would have seen why he would have been so good, but he did it all himself.
That team. Obviously,
he's gonna get tired in a few years.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, he's out right now with an injury. The rare hockey jaw injury. He got a jaw injury from a hit.
Wow,
that's a hard hit.
Yeah,
your jaw gets injured from a hit. So he's out right now. Hopefully, he'll be able to make that All-Star game. Yeah. In San Jose Sharks news, the Sharks are the worst again. The last time we were on here, they weren't the worst. The Blackhawks were the worst, and they were even ahead of the Anaheim Ducks. But the Sharks are the worst again. But it ain't so bad. When you watch them play now, I'm not getting insanely frustrated watching their play. They just don't have the guys. It just is what it is. But their play as a team is not horrible anymore. It's not terrible. Obviously they're lacking in the goaltending area. Mackenzie Blackwood was out for a little bit, so it was a Capo Kakinen and Chroma was the AHL guy that they brought up to take reps. And again, it's that time in hockey where the good teams are getting really fucking good. I just realized that your Crocs are Sharks Crocs.
Dude, I've been on the Crocs hate train for the longest time of my life, right? And for Christmas this year, my parents go, now I know you hate Crocs, but we thought that you might. They're like, if you really don't like them, we'll take them back, And so I put them on, and I was like, it's like walking on clouds.
That's what most people say.
It is.
Once you go Croc, you never go.
You can't go back. Bach.
But like I said, the Sharks are the worst again. But it ain't so bad because you see that if they got a couple of pieces, a couple of high-end players, a couple of people that can help round them out, they could be a decent team.
Where are we at now? Weren't we just like 8 in a row that we lost?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
it's like that meme where it's like everything's on fire and it's like we're okay.
We are. You want to know why? Why? Because the Macklin Celebrini sweepstakes is a hot commodity because of all players such as Bedard. We are going to have a string of players that are Bedard-esque, and Macklin Celebrini is insanely good, and he is going to be the #1 pick.
Yeah,
and the only chance the Sharks have of getting him are being dead last.
Yeah,
even though that's not guaranteed because the NHL does do a drawing. But if you're last, you have more balls in the hopper. So
and first pick goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins,
the Chicago Blackhawks.
Can you imagine?
Team him up right with Bedard.
Yeah,
who's gonna fuck his mom? But, so, it ain't so bad. And the other things looking up is Will Smith, the Sharks' last year's first pick. Just finished winning a gold medal with the U.S. Juniors. He scored a goal in the championship game.
Yep.
His hustle was really highly credited in their success in that tournament. So congratulations to the U.S. of A. That's pretty sweet.
USA.
Like,
USA.
The U.S. winning a juniors championship, that's pretty...
Yeah.
That's big time. And it goes into what I was saying kind of at the beginning of the season. I think I mentioned this with Daniel on the hockey show, is that for the first time ever, if you look at the prospects, NCAA hockey is almost better than Canadian juniors hockey right now as far as skill across the board. When you look at the guys that are the prospects coming up, draft picks that are still playing in college or in juniors that aren't in the NHL yet and things like that, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and obviously I was right because we just won a goddamn gold medal.
Yeah.
So yeah, USA baby on January 6th we celebrate
USA. Make America great again.
And in other big hockey news, not NHL related, we're talking about the PWHL. The Professional Women's Hockey League has just kicked off. You can now be a woman and be a professional hockey player. That's pretty sick.
That is really cool.
They just kicked off. I want to say they're only 2 games in. So it just happened last week. They've got 6 teams. They've got New York, Boston, Toronto, Minnesota, Montreal, and Ottawa.
I'm surprised California didn't jump in on that, dude.
Well, you know, obviously they're look to expand.
Yeah.
Just depending on, you know, how much moolah they can bring in.
Sure.
But the one thing that I want to bring up with the PWHL right now is because I have been anticipating this for a while, and I want to support. Right, I want to support because hockey is. I've watched a fair amount of women's hockey, and it's hot. I mean, people always talk about the WNBA and blah, blah, blah. It's like sports are one of those things where the level is where it's at. You know what I mean? And like, I guess a lot of people like you watch the WNBA and it sucks because of the girls that are really good. The best girls in there are so much better than everybody else on the court. It's not like the NBA where there's the best of the best, but even the lowest level guy isn't
miles.
that much worse than the best guy. Like, it's a little more even, right, in the talent pool. So in a lot of women's sports, there's this, and then everybody else out there is like kind of down. So it kind of doesn't. It makes a little lopsided games and things like that. But in women's hockey, whether you watch Olympic or anything else, lot of talent.
Yeah.
So it's very a talent rich sport for women, and exciting games and things like that. And so I was looking forward to this. So I've been trying to figure out which team I want to support because I'm like, I'm going to buy a jersey. So I've been checking the PWHL website for months now, waiting for the store the store hasn't been up to buy anything, right? So I go the other day after the first game started, I'm like, well, it's underway now. They got to have merch up, right? And I go to check and I'm like, all right, I got to pick a city.
Team, yeah.
And that's the other thing. Their jerseys,
not that good.
Lame. They're all the same jersey. They're all just the team's colors with the name, you know, classic Ranger style with the city diagonally across the front. Hopefully that'll change and they'll get logos.
Once they get a little bit.
But it don't matter. I was going to buy one. You want to know how much they want for a PWHL uncustomized jersey that is as bland as humanly possible?
How much?
Like
wait, hold on. Wait. So it's in the hundreds. 120.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's like $120 for an uncustomized, just no crest, just name across the front, team colored jersey. I get it. You guys obviously need some money, but I feel like you'd sell a lot more if you brought that price down to about $80. I'd have bought one.
Right.
I'd have bought one, and I would have bought one the other night. I would have bought a hoodie. I would have bought,
Yeah.
But when everything on the sweatshirt and everything else is over $100 on there, you're not going to sell shit. Like, come on.
Do better, guys.
You know what I mean? When you could buy a Fan Addicts NHL customized jersey for $125, you know?
How did you say that? Fan Addicts?
Fan Addicts, that's the company.
Fan Addicts.
Yeah.
It's not Fanatics?
Well, it's two words.
Is it like that double entendre type of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Fan Addicts, Fanatic. Okay, I thought you were just putting emphasis on the wrong part of the word.
Addicts.
Fan Addict. I get it now.
Yeah. It's like, it's a play on words.
Okay.
And their shit sucks.
It's
like when Reebok took over the UFC and they're spelling guys' names wrong and shit.
Right.
You know Fan Addicts is going to be the company next year.
Don't say that.
Yeah, Reebok's done.
Completely done?
After this, the contract's up and Fanatics takes it over next year. Because I bought my new Sharks jersey in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Because I love the new Reeboks that have the little dimples, you know, on the shoulders. The Reebok.
No, they should all be Fanatics, aren't they? Already.
And I bought mine in the middle of the night, thinking I was buying a Reebok one.
And
I
was a Fanatic.
I got it as a Fanatics one, and I'm like, motherfucker, doesn't have the dimples. But it's fine.
We have to start going to Etsy now and get that unofficial.
Yeah, I'll wait till the Sharks are good before. But the problem is you're gonna get. The Fan Addicts version is going to be $200 next season because it's the official, and it's still going to be the same quality unless they change it up. We'll see.
I don't like that they changed the cut of the jersey, right? Because the cut of the jersey is now like for people who don't wear pads and stuff. But like when people go to the hockey games, they're wearing sweaters because it gets cold in there and stuff, you know. So it's like you buy a jersey for somebody, and it's a little bit more form fitting for them, and they don't, you can't put a sweater on underneath it,
Yeah, well, that's personal problems, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I like the form fit.
Why make two different types of jerseys? Just make the same jersey,
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It gets confusing when you're half asleep in the middle of the night making impulse buys. You buy the wrong thing. But yeah, PWHL. I'm excited about the league. I'm excited that women have another professional sports outlet, and I'm happy to support But god damn it, lower those prices.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Maybe when they see that nobody's buying the jerseys, they'll
They're like, wait, we thought about it.
But maybe as a podcast, we need to pick a team.
Okay.
Who are we doing? Who are
do
we
they
supporting?
do they have mascot? Like, are they the Ottawa?
No.
Oh,
Not yet. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. It's just the cities: New York, Boston, Toronto, Minnesota, Montreal, Ottawa. You want me to tell you the colors?
yes, please.
All right. And as it starts to shake out, it seems like New York and Toronto are the better of the teams right now.
Now, I know how you feel about it, but I kind of don't want to go Canada with it. How do you feel? I'm feeling. It's January 6th. I'm feeling real USA right now.
Hey, dude, I'm right there with you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Let me go here. We'll look at the color schemes here. Oh, no, not Twitter. I don't fucking go to Twitter. What the fuck is it?
It's so funny to bring up X. I just saw an article where they're like, Elon Musk does illegal drugs, making SpaceX and Tesla execs worry. And I'm like, he did it on live with Rogan like how many years ago? And this is just coming out now, you know?
Oh, I was like, why are you talking about that? And I'm like, oh, I just said Twitter.
Yeah.
You fucking confused me for a second.
Sorry, dude.
I was like, wait, what are we talking about, Elon? And it's weird that it's still like, it's not called Twitter anymore, but nobody can stop calling it Twitter.
Everyone's, my dad goes, why do they keep saying X, formerly known as Twitter? And I was like, because it was Twitter, and now it's called X.
My favorite thing is because now instead of like Twitter videos, everybody says X videos, which is a very famous porn site.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
You know what I saw on X videos?
Yeah, next.
All right. So, New York is Little Sharks-esque. We got a teal. It's actually more Kraken, so it's like a teal and a dark blue.
I kind of like
you see
that.
it down there.
Yeah, I see it.
Boston is green and silver, green and gray. Montreal is that maroon and a dark blue. Minnesota is purple.
Minnesota.
Ottawa is that kind of darker red with a blue, and Toronto is that Maple Leafs.
Dude, Minnesota just 3-0'd fucking Montreal.
Yeah, dude. So what do you think, dude? What's our team? Are we doing New York? Are we doing Boston, Minnesota?
Okay, so here's
if we're going America, we got three. We got Boston,
three.
New York, Minnesota.
First of all, are you okay with going USA?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm not liking Boston's color scheme.
Me neither. And I'm just not a fan of Boston.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that too. Fuck Boston. Sorry, that was a hard take.
Or anti-Boston podcast. In the new year, anti-Boston.
Yeah, anti-Boston. I do like the color scheme of New York, but Minnesota, I feel like I owe a loyalty to.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know.
It seems more. It's like an underdog state.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
agree with you. I like the New York color scheme the best, but that's probably just because we're Sharks fans.
True.
And I don't think New York needs any more fans.
I don't think so either. And Minnesota doesn't have a bad color scheme.
I like purple.
I like that dark. Is it purple or is it blue?
It's purple. It looks weird in the picture.
Dude, I feel like we're Minnesota fans.
We're Minnesota. All right, dude.
The Minnesotas.
And it looks like the chick that's wearing the Minnesota jersey in that picture, like, I feel
she's having a good time.
We can hang out with her.
Yeah, for sure.
She's not just smiling for the picture. She's laughing.
No, that's real shit. Yeah, like that. Someone said a joke, and got her to laugh really hard.
All right.
Belly laugh.
PWHL Bungalow Sports Show.
We're supporting the Minnesotas.
The Minnesotas, baby. Hell yeah, dude. All right. On to some college football. We got a big game coming up Monday. College football championship, national championship game between Michigan and Washington.
Michigan. No.
How are you going to go in the last year of the Pac-12 and Washington makes it to the fucking national championship? How are you going to say Michigan, bro?
I don't know, dude. I was just laughing at it. I was talking to my friend about it the other day, and I was just like, Michigan, because, they were saying the same thing. So, I don't know.
So...
no, aren't they like the nemesis of Berkeley down here, dude? So we can't beat Michigan.
Well, I just think in the grand scheme of things, the fact that they're taking away
we want to go for the puppies, though.
Our West Coast League, you know what I mean? The Pac-8, Pac-10, Pac-12, this thing that's been just as historic as all the other, the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, all the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever, and now it's gone. And in the last year of his existence, one of the teams makes it literally like the best. They were the best division in college football. You know what I mean? And in its last year of existence, and one of the teams makes it to the finals. I have soft spot for Jim Harbaugh. So it's kind of hard for me to bet against or like not root for Michigan because I have been rooting for them ever since he became their coach. You know, so it's kind of a double-edged sword for me right now because I love irony and the ironic fact that they took away the pack and just have them win the national championship and be like, oh, good for you guys, you took away the best of the best league in college football and they won your dumbass trophy. But and then there's college football is one of those things where it's like I don't pay attention so much that I'm not as obsessive about it as I am with like NFL football or like other like professional sports. But I pay attention enough, obviously, rankings wise and then player wise, because I'm a big draft guy. I like betting on the draft. I like knowing what players are going to go to what NFL teams, what NFL teams need. And things like that.
Well, I've liked playing college football with Prize Picks, so that's been a lot of fun.
Well, there
too.
you go, and it's cool to bet on because it's like exciting games,
it is.
High scoring games, things like that.
I love that they have like the school bands there too, because it just like it changes like the entire feel of the game. You know what I mean? It's so much more fun.
College bands are the shit.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like professional teams should have bands.
Oh, for sure. Like I watched Ohio State come out, and like everyone was hyped to have the drum major run that length right there. It was just it was so hyped. Then he does a back bend, touches his fucking tip of his hat to the thing. Go for, come on, man.
Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah, dude.
Like in a world where like cheerleaders are being phased out of the NFL and things like that, like let's bring in the band. Bring in the band, baby.
Dude. I'd pay $120 for a band jersey.
Well, and think about this.
You know what I mean?
Like you're a guy who is a high school band, you go to college, you do an instrument and call like our buddy Clay, right? He's in the Modesto Junior College Orchestra, right?
Wow.
Not for any other reason than he plays the violin, and it's like where else is he gonna other than coming in here once every few months to record some songs with me? Like when are you gonna really get down by yourself in your bedroom just playing some fucking Rachmaninoff or some shit like that? It's like no, he goes down there and he rocks out with the orchestra.
Is true. That's such a different dynamic like you're talking about, because like that's such an important part of being in band for high school and college,
right?
And then it's just
playing a classical instrument is a lot different than playing a rock instrument. You know, I
play percussion, so I didn't. For me, I don't skip a beat. I can go to somewhere else after.
But playing a rock drum set versus playing a drum it's a different dynamic. Yeah, it is. Right? Because you're rather than playing full song, like you have a part.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
It's always been a thing where like I've only ever played rock and or roll type music. Yeah. So like you have this thing where it's just like I'm playing the guitar and I have to change all these parts throughout the entire time. It's like when you're in a band and you're in a fucking 100-piece orchestra or like a school band like
you
that,
could not play anything. Yeah.
Or it's like no, you only are doing this one thing, but if you don't do it, this sounds like shit.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that one thing that you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So it is a whole dynamic. But think of a guy like Clay or anybody that we know that's grown up playing a classical instrument like that. Not that, an NFL team it's not going to be your living playing for the Raiders marching band. But how sick would that be to be like, I'm a mechanic, but I go play the piccolo for the Raiders marching band once a week.
Yeah.
For 6 months. You know what I mean? On Sunday, or half the Sundays of the football season, I'm over at Allegiant Stadium hitting that timpani drum.
That'd be so dope, dude. Like, that would be really cool.
Imagine. And it's kind of a good alternate for like the cheerleader, because the cheerleaders, it's always been like a horror story. If you talk to anybody who's been a cheerleader or watching those documentaries, it seems like a horrible existence being an NFL cheerleader. You don't get paid shit. Yeah. You're fucking objectified and fucking, it just seems like a horrible existence.
I can see that, yeah.
But it would be the exact opposite to be a part of the marching band.
That would be so sick. Everyone would be stoked to see you. You know what I mean? Like at every point. Yeah. No, anyways, that'd be a lot of fun.
We got to put that out there.
Yeah. Hey, hit us up. Commish.
Yeah, NFL marching bands. But anyway, so college football, they got the marching bands. We have our championship game. Your boy placed a parlay last week. A Michigan-Washington parlay and won it last week.
Hey.
And it was a kind of a nail-biter, but that's the thing about college football. It's like they always end up like these playoff games, if you've watched them, there's rarely blowouts.
Right.
Throughout the season of college football, there's a lot of blowouts because like not all the teams are up to the snuff of the greater teams.
I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago I texted you, or remember when we were going to get ready to do a show, and I was like, dude, I want to start, like, I want to talk about college football for a second, because I was looking at, there was like a crazy amount of teams that were 8-0. You know what I mean? That were, like none of them had lost.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And of course, with the picking of who made it to the playoffs was drama, with Florida State being undefeated and getting snubbed and all that stuff. And but the thing with my parlay last week, which made it a great day to watch football, is like both those games came down to the last play of the game. You know?
Oh, wow.
And
that
it's
was
like,
exciting, dude.
They both started out
in the money, out of the money,
and they both started out where, like, I was like, oh shit, I got this. Like, Michigan, like, it wasn't a high scoring game at the beginning, and it was like they were kind of just, the game, it was kind of a boring game, but it was like, oh, Michigan's just gonna control this thing the whole time, and we're gonna win it. But then it came down to the last fucking play of the game, and then the Washington came out and fucking started to.
Are you money lines guy, or do you do back and forth point spreads and stuff?
When I do parlays, it's always money
line. Yeah, makes it easier that way.
But yeah, I took home a few pennies on that one.
Exciting, dude. Good job.
And then I'm trying to decide where I'm going to place my money this week. I'm thinking it's going to be with Washington. Like I said, I've got skin in the game both ways, obviously with the Pac-12 connection, and then obviously the Harbaugh I kind of want Harbaugh to win it so he can come back to the NFL and be satisfied with his college career.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He's been teasing going back to the NFL, but it's like they've been getting closer and closer to winning a national title. So I feel like this is if he wins it, he's definitely going back to the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want him to go to the Bears. I want him to go where he played before, to a team that's disappointing all the time, that always has quarterback problems, and he's a quarterback coach. And I want to see what he can do with like a team like the Bears or something like that. And I loved it, like when it was Niners-Ravens Super Bowl, and it was the Har Bowl because he was the Niners coach, and his brother's the coach of the Ravens.
Oh, nice. I mean?
Yeah. It is whatever. Football family stuff. But I think Washington's coming in as the underdog. I'll probably put my money there.
I like that.
And Michael Penix, their quarterback, like, he's old, and I guess you could say injury prone, but I think he had his injuries is why he's old, why he's still in college, you know, because he has had to take long periods of time off. Yeah. So it's probably why he's not highly touted in the draft. But I'm like, dude, somebody's gonna pick that guy up, and he is gonna light it up in the NFL. When you watch that dude, like, he's a great quarterback. So their offense is, and they've got like Jalen Polk. They've got a lot of good receivers. Michigan is Blake Corum, who's like, I'm not sure if he's number one, but he's going to be one of the number one running backs in the draft this season. So it's like they've got offense, but I feel like the Michigan defense is their strong point versus the Washington offense. So it's going to be a good game. But I think in the prospect of winning money, I'm going to have to put money on Washington.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, good luck to you, dude. Good luck to you.
All right. We are, as we speak, in week 18 of the NFL season, the final week, the week where your team's either sitting their starters and resting them for the playoffs, or you're trying to spoil someone's playoff hopes. As we've recorded this, I've already won one bet this weekend, which was a Najee Harris anytime touchdown. Got that earlier today. Pittsburgh beat the Ravens. Ravens sat all their starters, so it was literally all their backups.
Yeah, they already clinched, right?
Well, they already clinched they already clinched the division, not just their division, but the whole conference. Right. So they're getting the bye no matter what.
Nice.
So they sat everybody, and the Steelers was, I think, I don't know. Let me see. I got it right here. So the teams that have clinched, and I mean, if you're a big football fan, you already know this, but we'll just go over it. Obviously, Ravens and Niners have both clinched, both sides of the NFL. Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Lions, Browns, surprisingly, with old man Flacco. Eagles,
how about him coming out of retirement?
Oh, such a good. We'll talk about the MVP race too for a little bit, but let's get through these playoffs things. Eagles and my Rams.
Yeah, the Ram Jam, dude.
Rams in a season that it was supposed to be a rebuild season. It was supposed to be fucking just a nothing season, a throwaway. What the fuck are we gonna do? Because we've given away all our draft picks from now until eternity to win that Super Bowl that we won. Make it to the goddamn playoffs. Matt Stafford,
just a beauty of a player,
like,
man.
Just such a good quarterback. He's so fucking tough. Puka Nacua, just lighting it up as a rookie. Puka Nacua and
Cup.
Well, Cooper Kupp obviously came back, but then they've got Karrion Williams, their running back, also a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those two guys are the reason that they have success right now, because you get rookies, you don't know what you're going to get in the first season. You know what I mean? And both of those guys weren't like high, draft guys where like these guys are NFL ready. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the fact that those guys have showed out the way they have are the reason, because without those two spots being as successful, they weren't gonna make the playoffs.
Well, I can't wait, dude, because I just love. There's nothing that makes my day more better than like a Niners losing. You know what I mean? Like just to see that when they come in the next day to work. You know, there's just not, so I can't. There's just
fucking Ram Jam. They're playing the Niners tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
So. I don't know. Well, the Niners, they're going to be sitting a bunch of people too. You know that because they already clinched. So hopefully Rams pull that one out too. Maybe they can slide into that 5 spot. Teams that are still in the hunt, like I said, the Steelers beat Baltimore earlier today. They still need some help with some other teams losing to get in. They're at like 65% chance of getting in. But other teams that are basically win and get in are the Jaguars, the Bills, the Buccaneers, and the Packers.
I love the Bills, dude. Josh Allen has completely won me over.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like the fact that he got up and was like, I feel like this is a group project and I just signed my name on it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, because that's an adaptable football team right there, though, right? Because Josh Allen, obviously, with my dispute with our commenter earlier in the football season.
Oh yeah. You're delusional, right?
Delusional about Josh Allen when the Bills weren't doing too well, and Josh Allen's quarterback play. Like, because he's one of those guys, he's kind of like that schoolyard guy, gunslinger dude. It's like either he's going to do it or it's like it's either going to be a touchdown or an interception. Right. There's no in between. You know what I mean? And that's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. But when it's consistently not working out, it becomes a little like, oh, shit, what the fuck are they going to do? But then they start giving the ball to James Cook, and James Cook just becomes a goddamn touchdown machine. And they, Josh Allen's been getting, 200 passing yards, under 200 passing yards a game, and they're blowing people out because they're running the ball down people's throats. And they basically changed the dynamic of their team, and they've earned themselves. Basically, I mean, they win tomorrow against Miami, which Miami's kind of decimated on defense. So, and I imagine the Bills are going to win that game and get in, and Miami's already in the playoffs. So, they're to avoid further injury, they'll probably be sitting some people too. Because it's not like they're not going to be playing for a bye no matter what. Yeah. So they might as well. The Jaguars, they're lucky to be getting in. They kind of just fell apart during this season. And I think they're out in one no matter who they end up playing if they win tomorrow against Tennessee, which all signs point to yes, but Vrabel, the Tennessee coach, and Will Levis with something to prove, and Derrick Henry, probably his last game as a Tennessee Titan. They all want to win and go out of this season on a win, so that's going to be a tough one for the Jaguars. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Bake has just completely shown. I mean, Joe Flacco, take him out of the picture with the Browns, and the Browns are fucking as retarded as ever. With their quarterbacks, right? Yeah. They get rid of Baker Mayfield because he got a shoulder injury, and you blamed him for not making the fucking playoffs. It's like the dude got hurt. He was playing great for you. Yeah. He got injured, and then all of a sudden he's the guy that you need to ship away, and they need to give $300 million to Pee-Pee Toucher guy. Right? And then he sucks. He sucks. Yeah. And gets injured twice this season.
Bakes, he might not have scored the most points for me in fantasy, but he was definitely the most consistent.
Most consistent. Seems like a great teammate. Yeah. It seems like the guys on the team, whatever team he's playing for, even when he came in for like 2 games for the Rams last season when Stafford got injured, he lit it up. It's like he seems like a guy that guys want to play for.
Yeah, for sure.
Seems like a decent dude. Doesn't ask massage therapist to touch his pee-pee. And he slings the ball. Like he's the kind of guy that you want to root for. So, and they're going up against Carolina. Carolina's a shit show, dumpster fire. They're probably going to win that easily. Thing about Carolina that sucks, though, is like last team in the NFL, and you don't have a first-round pick because they traded it to the Bears last season. So they could draft their franchise quarterback that didn't really work out. And then the Packers kind of been up and down, but this is the Bears Super Bowl every year is
against the
Packers because the Bears are never in the playoffs. So their one thing is being able to beat the Packers and hopefully keep them out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
is their Super Bowl.
That's funny.
And the Bears have been coming on. The Bears are 5-2 in their last 7, and of those 2 games, both of them ended on last plays of the game, so they could easily be 7-0 to end the season. So the Bears have definitely figured something out. Again, a franchise quarterback that throughout the season have been like, well, do we need to get rid of him? Start over again, da-da-da. I think they need to keep Justin Fields. I think they need to use that number 1 pick they got from Carolina and get Marvin Harrison Jr., get a wide receiver, get somebody from to throw the fucking ball to.
Believe it or not, I actually traded away Justin Fields. I had him as my, he was
injured
my first pickup,
and it wasn't good for a while there. But they're starting to come on, and then again, maybe they can get Jim Harbaugh as a coach, who's like kind of a quarterback whisperer type dude, and
turn him around,
and it can be a thing. On the bubble teams, Colts and Texans are playing right now. Both these guys are both teams are kind of win and get in. I don't even know. Let's check the score of that right now as we're watching this. So those, and both 14-17 at the end of the third, 17 Texans, 14 Colts. I like the stories of both these teams because, like, the Texans, C.J. Stroud, obviously, I mean, I don't think you can give Rookie of the Year to anybody else because he was in the MVP hunt for a while until he got injured. And if a rookie is in an MVP hunt, he's obviously got to be Rookie of the Year, right? And then the Colts, I love Gardner Minshew, their backup quarterback. Anthony Richardson, obviously the rookie quarterback there, got injured. And I love Gardner Minshew with his fucking Top Gun jacket and his fucking lettuce out the back. Yeah, and he's just one of those dudes. He's kind of like a Baker Mayfield, kind of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, where it's like, is he the guy? Isn't he the guy? But he seems like a cool guy. Right, so, like, you can't not vote for him. You know what I mean? Like, he had one of the best mic'd ups this last week when they played the Raiders. Oh, really? And there's just a compilation of Max Crosby hitting him or pressuring him and then calling him a little ass boy. And then Gardner Minshew on the fucking sidelines, he goes, man, Max Crosby's so angry. And then somebody else was like, yeah, but he's not. He's like, he's nice. He's like, yeah, but fuck, man, he just keeps calling me a little ass boy. And then he looks at the camera and he's like, I'm not a little ass boy. And he's like, I mean, out here, maybe, but not all the time. Like, it's just, one of those dudes. Yeah. Like, I love dudes who don't take themselves so seriously. You know what I mean? Like, and he slings he slings it, dude.
Slings that ball.
So I don't really have a skin in the game on that one. I only had a Jonathan Taylor first touchdown scorer bet that didn't hit because the Texans on their first play of the game threw a 75-yard touchdown. So. Good luck to both those teams. Yeah. Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, Falcons, all still technically could technically get in, but they need to win and
have somebody lose, right?
Have multiple other situations. What are your predictions? All right, I have a few futures bets here. Okay. I have a futures bet. I have a 49ers Super Bowl win and a Ravens Super Bowl win, and I think they're going to play each other in the Super Bowl. That's my prediction right now.
Niners and Ravens. Yeah.
And both those futures were placed before they both had clinched and had buys. So don't think I'm just like a front runner who's like, oh, I'm going to go bet it right now. No, I placed those bets before anybody had clinched playoff spots. But now after doing it, I do legitimately think they're going to play each other.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I was going with.
Now, do you think the Ravens beating the shit out of the Niners in that last game a couple weeks ago has anything to do with how the Super Bowl will pan out, or?
I think that the Niners definitely have to make a few changes to their game plan.
Because it's not like anybody was injured.
No, but
it's not like, you know what I mean.
But their defense took like 3 flags and within 2 plays. It's like,
no, this is true.
So
I was just trying to think of the intangibles. I'm like, did they have who was out? But no, they had.
Oh no.
They like offense wise, the Niners had everybody back.
No, Brock kind of shot the bed.
They had Brock back.
It was like 6 interceptions or something. I mean,
Trent Williams was in.
In the first half, there was 4 picks. It's like, I mean, he just, I think it was his worst game, and unfortunately it was like the most anticipated game,
right.
But I mean, I would hope that they'd make like a huge change and come back fighting, I mean, as much as I want them to lose, because I don't know. Do you think it's going to be a repeat of that game?
Well, money-wise, I hope so because I'll win more if the Ravens win.
I want the Ravens to win too, dude. You know,
And
justice for Michael Orr. You know.
I heard he was extorting them.
That's what it sounds.
Now, if you go
now
back,
it makes more sense.
Like the news doesn't like to tell you like what comes out after.
Right.
Like the more salacious thing is that they were exploiting him, but then it turns out that he was like fucking trying to extort money out of him and shit like that. But I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan.
Yeah, I am too.
Right, and he was almost got fucking. He almost wasn't a Raven this season because they weren't gonna fucking pay him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he could just as easily be in Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
And
he got hit hard in that game though too by a Niner, and he got back up and he like patted the dude on the back and he was like, oh, like, and he was smiling. He's like, good hit, bro. Like, he just seems like another good dude, you know.
And he was a guy that everybody's like, well, he's not going to be elite because he's just a runner. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, his passing game is right there. It's a team that even with their number one running back going out, it's like Lamar is their number one running back. Right, so they're a team that can be almost more successful with that whole running back by committee thing, right?
Sure.
Because all he needs is somebody that makes the defense think, "Where's it going?"
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like Brock Purdy, he's not going to run it.
No.
Unless he has to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when Lamar's out there and there's a running back out there, you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, what is he gonna do?
You know what I mean? So it's like that's the rub right there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And.
Sorry.
When it comes to like the MVP talk, let's get into this for a second because I also have MVP futures bets that I made about 2 months ago, and maybe a little bit more. And it was a season where, like we said, the quarterback play is down, and MVP usually tends to be a quarterback award, right? Quarterbacks always win it, right?
Okay.
It's like there's very rarely does another.
Remember, I've just now started getting into football, so this
like,
is a little bit out of my.
Very rarely does another position win it. Adrian Peterson won it as a running back a long time ago, and he basically had to almost get the most rushing yards in the history of NFL to get it.
I mean, he's
so like very rarely, so, you know, and then he hit his kid in the nuts with a stick.
I was like, yeah, that's
but so it's basically a quarterback award, right? But this year, quarterback plays down, right?
Yeah.
You had Tyreek Hill, who was on pace to break the wide receiver record. You had Christian McCaffrey, who went on like a 14-game touchdown streak. Right? You had other guys where they are literally carrying their teams, right?
He locked my prize picks every week. Like he was one of my he was my deciding vote every week. Yeah.
Guaranteed until I voted on him for an anytime.
Yeah.
I broke the streak. And then also on top of that, in the quarterback position, you had Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Who is this guy who essentially, obviously, Mr. Irrelevant, whatever you want to say, but fucking the best like quarterback rating in the NFL for weeks on end. You know what I mean? So like, I play some futures. I always sprinkle it around on MVP. I don't just go for one because it's like that's kind of a stupid.
No, that's hard to do. Yeah.
So I put a Tyreek Hill, a Christian McCaffrey, and a Brock Purdy MVP future, right? But then what happens? Old Lamar shows us that Lamar is Lamar, and now the MVP is going to go to Lamar because he's a quarterback and he's the best player in football.
He's been putting it on,
for the last 2 months. He's been the best since I made those bets. Lamar has been the best player in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And the Niners went on their losing streak, and then so it was kind of just everything fell into place. And by the time I was like, well, fuck, Lamar's going to win it. Like the odds were just not worth it to even put any money on him to win it. So hopefully you got your MVP bets in a while ago, and hopefully you sprinkled some money on Lamar because he's gonna win it. And it's just there's really no bones about it anymore because again they're gonna take any excuse they can to give it to a quarterback. So unless you have Christian McCaffrey still doing what he was doing at the beginning of the season, which obviously is still great, but he's not.
Well, he just got injured too, didn't he? And
he's not getting the same numbers as he was for the first 3 quarters of the season. This last quarter of the season has been more of a team effort there in 49er land. And then Tyreek Hill got injured too, so his targets have been down the last 3 weeks. So he's not going to break that record and all that stuff. So it's basically going to Lamar Jackson. The other award I want to talk about is Comeback Player of the Year. Now, there's one caveat because there's a guy who's going to win it that you sound like a total dickhead if you say that he doesn't deserve it, and that is Damar Hamlin because he died.
Because he died on the field.
But he's not a starter. He's like a third string quarterback that played like 4 plays all season. But because he put a helmet on again.
What's that song? Oh, what's that one? DeMar, I hear it, the less I like it.
But that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're a dick if you say he doesn't deserve it because he fucking died. And
well, who would you put? Okay, put
Joe Flacco.
That's what I was gonna say.
Deserves the comeback player of the fucking year. And if not Joe Flacco, because it hasn't been a full year that he's been playing,
Amari Cooper,
Baker Mayfield. But you know what I'm saying? Like guys who have literally carried these teams.
Yeah.
DeMar Hamlin ain't carrying a team. DeMar Hamlin isn't a starter. DeMar Hamlin isn't a second string cornerback.
Yeah.
DeMar Hamlin is like a third string cornerback.
Why don't they give him like a one-time like
the
way to show
dead
up?
guy award,
Dead guy
or make a DeMar Hamlin award if you happen to die and then make the team the next season.
Yeah.
I hate to be insensitive here, but like comeback player means you played better this year than you did last year,
Right.
Not just come back from death.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't play better. He played better last season because he was a starter last season. I'd say I'm a dickhead. I get it.
Fucked. No, it's funny though. It's funny.
But in a world where a 40-year-old Joe Flacco is taking the fucking Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah.
In a world where Baker Mayfield got the axe by the Browns, and then now he's taking a team that was supposed to be trash
and he's turning it
to
around.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, there's
other more deserving
the description
people.
of that award, I'm saying, or just name the award after DeMar Hamlin.
the DeMar Hamlin comeback award.
Yeah, it's like the Bratwurst, trophy over here, dude. Guy died, I made him a trophy.
Yeah.
He never won it.
I think that's like a solid handshake and like a pat on the back.
That's what I'm saying, because it's like, we get it. You died, dude, and you came back and you made a professional football team.
Stop drinking so many Red Bulls,
Don't blame the dead, Joey.
I took it too far.
But I'm just saying, comeback player of the year should mean you played better this year than you did the year before.
Yeah.
And that is not the case for DeMar Hamlin. He just happened to die last year.
Yeah, it's not a literal comeback, it's like
comeback from death award.
It's not so specific. It's pretty vague.
The one and only winner.
Honestly, dude, it's pretty vague. They didn't say how he needed to come back. He just needed to come back.
Yeah, just needed to come back. That is the prerequisite for the award from now on. If you give it to DeMar Hamlin,
yeah, definitely.
He's back.
He's better than ever, baby.
No, he's not. That's my gripe. I'm sorry, DeMar. I'm a fan of your willingness to cling to this life.
How funny would it be if this was the one clip that he sees?
I'm gonna tag him. Yeah, dude. I'm astonished that you died, you came back to life, and you made it.
How do you know they're gonna give this to him though? How do you know?
It's a little thing.
Is the NFL woke?
It's a little thing called Las Vegas and the odds makers. And they're rarely wrong.
What is he, like a minus
1,500 or something?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
It's gonna happen. They can't not give it to him.
Why?
Because
optics?
of yes, exactly. Optics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about Joe Flacco, he doesn't need an award because he's making a bunch of money right now. And it's funny because he didn't even know how. I saw a funny clip. He didn't know how much money he was making when they signed him. Like, because he just wanted to play.
He just wants to play.
So like his agent or whatever made the deal, and then he started playing. And then like apparently like he was sitting in the locker room, and like some reporter was just like, "You realize like every time you win a game, you make like $2.2 million?" And he was just like, I didn't even know that. Because obviously I think it's probly an incentive-based contract too.
For sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
he gets like a baseline salary, and then like every time,
and just like, holy shit.
I guess I should start winning more. No, that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, aside from my futures bets of the Niners and the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, I'm Cleveland Brown fan right now.
Yeah, for sure. Can you put it back up? I want to see. I want to see.
See what?
So I want to see who's clinched again.
Oh, yeah.
It would be cool to see the Bills in there. I just like, dude, he's just such a bro. Josh Allen is just such a bro.
Yeah. I mean, I love parody. So obviously, Browns, Lions, Dolphins.
I do like the Dolphins too.
All these.
Their coach. After you told me about how funny their coach is, I was like, yeah, he's hilarious.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's
Mike
great.
McDaniel is fantastic. Do you have HBO Max?
I do.
Watch. They do, because you know they do the Hard Knocks before the season.
Yeah.
They do in-season Hard Knocks, and this year it's the Dolphins.
Oh.
So you got a whole season to watch.
Okay, cool.
Go and watch.
I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Mike McDaniel classic stuff. And you want to know what else is classic is fucking Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
The cheetah is also classic, and Paris has become a fan because like one clip she sent me, she's like, you gotta watch this, and it's just him, and he goes and makes a play or whatever, and like stubs his thumb, and his thumb's strained, and he's on the sideline, and he's like fucking going like this, and he's like, and you're thinking like he's pondering whether he can finish the game, and he's just like, he's mic'd up, and he's like, I'm not gonna be able to play Fortnite tonight. And it's hell funny. And then his house burnt down a couple days ago.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
One of his kids was playing with a lighter. Yeah. And he had a press conference for the Dolphins press conference yesterday. They're talking about, he's like, oh, we're good. You know, everybody's healthy. He's like, we're gonna be fine. Like, it's no big deal. He's like, I said, because I'm not gonna be able to play Fortnite for a few days because I got no TV and burn up my PlayStation. Like, dude loves Fortnite. Yeah. And one of he's got a funny interview. He's like being interviewed on a podcast or something. And the dude's like, asks him, he's like, all right, Tyreek, he's like, of everybody, who's your biggest op? Like, who's your biggest opposition? And like the little fucking, they start putting up all these different like cornerbacks. Yeah. And then he looks and he goes, Peely. The Fortnite character guy. The banana guy. Yeah. Peely. Dude loves his Fortnite, dude.
That's funny, dude.
But yeah, that team is it's a good show. The in-season Hard Knocks hasn't been a great thing up until this season.
It's funny that you bring up Hard Knocks because I started watching the Drive to Survive, the Formula One's version of like Hard Knocks, you know, and I started from the beginning. And so I'm getting all the hot goss of 2018 because it's like seasons in, you know. So I'm telling my mom, I'm like, dude, can you believe this is happening with Renault? And she's like, they're not even a team anymore, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, all those things are so good. They have one. Netflix has one with golf too.
What do they really?
I think the Live Tour, not PGA.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so like all those.
Dude, I want to know what they're complaining about because they're all making millions of dollars. So it's like, can you imagine?
Well, a lot of it is rivalry because it's Live Golf is a team thing. There's teams.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like team versus team, and then like guys on teams who don't like the other members of the team and things like that.
Would you even be hating? I'd just be like, knowing that every time I hit the ball, I'm making millions of dollars.
It'd be real hard to get me upset.
Yeah, dude.
Making that kind of money. All right, dude. We're back.
Oh, we are back.
The Bungalow Sports Show is
fun,
back.
guys.
I just want to remind everybody, Fight Show will be back this week on Thursday. Me and Alexis will be back in.
You guys have won me a lot of money.
Oh, well, Alexis has retooled the way we're going to be keeping track of our fights and our picks. It's not just going to be straight up all of our picks in one. He's going to keep track of the dogs. He's going to keep track of everything a little bit separately. So a little retooled pick system and show, but that'll be back on Thursday. Next week will be hockey show, presumably. We'll be recording next Monday. I think I'll be able to start getting my Monday mornings back so I can record with Daniel.
Nice.
And this show, even if those other ones fall off, we'll be back in perpetuity. Joey and I will be recording every weekend.
Happy to be back, brother. Thank you. This is your champions.
Yeah,
signing out.
Podcast of champions. Shout out of the week goes to all the fantasy football losers out there.
Yep.
Keep your head up, boys.
Yeah, it'll happen for you guys.
Girls. Keep your heads up, man. Team Butt Punch hasn't won since 2016. You know, but I just kept my head down, kept fighting.
The Fear Boners won their in-aug season. You know. Should have auto drafted, but it's okay. Dude. We made it. We made it.
It's a beautiful thing, fantasy football. It makes you love football that much more. I credit fantasy football with getting me into the NFL, period. I do. If it wasn't for fantasy football, I did not grow up giving a shit about football. I liked hockey. I didn't like football because my dad was a Raiders fan, and it was constant misery, and I was just constantly seeing him every Sunday being upset and pissed off.
I brought that up the other day to my cousin because her boyfriend's a Raiders fan, right? And I said, well, is he miserable? She goes, no. I said, then he's not a real Raiders fan. Real Raiders fans hate their lives, you know?
And so, you know, it's just, and as soon as someone asked me to play fantasy football because I love little games, I love statistics, I love winning money, so I was like, yes, I'm in. And then it gave me a reason to pay attention to football, and then all the little nuances of football, and that's what's great about professional sports. Chris thinks I'm the worst parent ever because I bought Andy a Golden Knights jersey for Christmas because he decided that's his favorite team.
Why?
I'm not the guy. I'm not going to be the
You
parent.
have to steer him from the another direction.
No.
He could, dude, there was 31 other teams to choose from.
And you want to know what? You want to know how this transpired?
I would have been better if it was a Ducks fan.
First off, I'm not going to be just like my dad didn't force the Raiders on me, I'm not going to force my misery on my child.
I didn't ask you to force it on him.
One night, I'm sitting there watching a Sharks game.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you bring up all the team's logos on the iPad? So I bring up a picture with all the logos, and he draws all the logos, right? He's drawing them all. He gets to the Knights, and he goes, man, that looks like a Mandalorian helmet.
Fuck. And we lost him.
And I'm like,
well. And we lost him right
and
there.
he's like, that's my favorite team.
God
but
damn it.
There are silver linings. On New Year's Day, Winter Classic, the Knights versus the Kraken. The Knights he donned his jersey on New Year's Day for the first time. Had it off by the second period because they're getting their asses kicked. So, anyways, that's been a show. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Hopefully, a lot of you come back and you're still watching. You're still hanging with us in the new year. We will be back weekly, and enjoy your sports.